everybody, my name is Christian Aldo and welcome to the Plastic General. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at some 21st century toy tanks that I have customized into tank recovery vehicles, and we're going to check out some custom-made tank recovery crews. Then finally, we're going to look at an Italian company called Dulcop and their now very rare German and US infantry sets. Sound exciting? Let's go to war. Fire! Okay, so the first vehicle we're going to look at today is a 21st Century Toys German Panzer IV tank. Now, you know, these came out in the, let's say, 2003. It's a short-barreled German Panzer IV. And what I wanted to make was a tank recovery vehicle. So the first thing I did was remove the turret and look at photographs of tank recovery vehicles. And so what did I create? I created this. Bum, 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 bum. Enter the Burge Panzer IV. So of course, as you can see, I removed the turret, and then I created that the platform, the wood platform. I just used lots of photographs of what a Burge Panzer looked like. We have the crane here with the hook and the cables, and I used I went and bought some cheap jewelry and just utilized the chains. We have the pulleys here. The hardest thing to create was this fake log of wood, which was an annoying little thing to try to create out of polystyrene. And there you have it. There's a couple other details and stuff, and I just added on some crates and some gasoline and stuff. And this is going to be great with the tank recovery crews. Really easy to do, guys, and because it's plastic and you can get some cheap Panzer IVs on eBay, there you go. A great tank that has never been made by anybody in 1/32 scale. Okay, for vehicle number 2. Of course, again, this was made by good old 21st Century Toys. It's a Panther, a 1/32 scale Panther tank. Came out in the early 2000s. Wonderful vehicle. And of course, I wanted to make a Burge Panther, which was a more advanced and heavier tank recovery vehicle than the Burge Panzer IV. And so I did just that. And the first thing you do, of course, is remove that turret. So I cheated a little bit and I bought a 1/35th scale Burge Panther kit, and I decided to fuse the 1/35th scale components with the 1/32 scale hull of the 21st Century Toys Panther. And so this is the result. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. The 1/32 scale Burge Panther. The hull and body by 21st Century Toys, and all the components from the Italy kit. Now, let me tell you right off the bat, if this was a 1/32 scale kit that doesn't exist, it would only be like half a centimeter wider, so don't worry about it. So let me give you a tour around this kit. Around the Burge Panther. So what they did is they had no turret on the top, and they cut a big hole in the hull. And in the middle would have been the motor that operates the winch for doing repairs and stuff. And this thing could open and close. And then the drivers would be openly exposed. They probably would cover that up with canvas. And then they had a defensive gun in the front. But usually you'd have troops around maybe guarding you. And then at the back is a bulldozer blade, I guess, so that the blade could lower and go into the ground and hold the Burge Panther steady as it pulls. And here's the winch, so this thing could move over and lower down and pick things up like Like if, let's say, it had to pick up this motor, right, and move it around or load it into something. So I'm going to give you a little pointer when converting. Number one, you have to buy the 1/35th scale kit by Italeri. It makes things way easier. You can build it from scratch if you need to. I would recommend trying to find a plastic-hulled 21st Century Toys Panther. They came in either metal or plastic, but this is where the plastic comes in great for conversions. Also, when gluing the plastics, it's a great product I've discovered. It's like a thick type of super glue that you get at hobby shops called Maxi Cure. If you do that, all your problems are solved. When gluing together the kit parts, you use model kit glue or testers, but when gluing polystyrene parts to the hard plastic toy parts, Maxi Cure. So like in previous episodes, I talked about how to make ground crews or tank recovery crews or anything like this. And now there is ICM, and they do create some official ground crews for aircraft carriers and stuff. But basically, if you ever need ground crews, I've discovered the greatest trick of all. You go on eBay and you buy pit crews from race car sets in 1/32 scale, and then of course you'll have to customize them. And so that's what I did here. I just put the side cap on this guy here, and I've made a guy with a pen and a paper considering something, and then you have one of his buddies looking at the blueprints of something and deciding what they're going to do to fix this particular vehicle. A couple more poses. I have a figure working on a loose track from a Panzer IV, and then I have a guy here with like an oil drum of some sort with a sledgehammer pointing down at something or some pins that need fixing on tank treads. Tank tracks. Then you have a figure just doing, he's what I call a doer. He just does things. And then of course you have this guy here with a crowbar. So he would get those crowbars and pull up on the tank tracks or whatever heavy machinery he's working on. So for example, if let's perhaps this guy would be like poking in there for some reason, and then you have a guy here working on the tank treads. You have another guy setting that up there, and you have another guy talking about where the problem is, and then you got a couple officers arguing over what the best course of action should be taken. Okay, so the next sets that we're going to look at are going to be from an Italian company called Dulcop. Now, I know that they were around since the 60s, and they continued to release some things during the 70s, and to this day, some Dulcop sets are continuously released, but in all different subjects, like medieval and cowboys or whatever. But this show's about World War II, so they came out with 2 World War II sets, and that's what we're going to look at now. The first 2 poses we're going to check out is a German commander firing a Luger and a German infantryman with rifle slung throwing a potato masher hand grenade. Poses 3 and 4, standing sharpshooting Mauser, kneeling sharpshooting Mauser. It seems like the Dulcop is kind of like out of ideas when they were making this set. So the first 4 poses are really, really lame, and they're kind of modeled after Airfix. But then for the final 4 poses, they totally abandoned being dependent on their competitors and made 4 fantastic and much needed poses at the time. Here they are. Poses 5 and 6. Advancing or standing firing MG42 and firing MP40 machine gun from waist, but suspiciously or strangely, he's wearing a German paratrooper helmet. That's never really been done before. And finally, poses 7 and 8. We have a figure here advancing with STG assault rifle. And here we have a kneeling soldier operating a German mortar. And neither of those poses in the early 70s had ever been done before until Dulcop did them. So there you have it, all 8 poses of Dulcop German infantry in 132. And I have to say, both the German and U.S. infantry sets are very rare. They haven't been reissued for at least 25 to 30 years now. So if you see them for sale, snatch them up. They're very rare. Okay, and for the counterpart set is U.S. infantry. And you have there's a commander figure firing a pistol and kneeling firing a bazooka. Now here's where things get a little tricky for poses 3 and 4. You'll have an American soldier firing a grease gun, and then this figure here is advancing firing a Thompson. Sometimes people think it's the same pose, but I don't fall for that. Again, this set is just as rare as the Germans, so snatch them up. Poses 5 and 6. By the way, don't confuse this set with U.S. Infantry Marines from Airfix. So we have a figure here. This is an easy way for a seller or anybody to think they're the same figure, but they're not. Look closely. This figure, if you notice, is running, advancing with his rifle, and this figure is sort of standing with his rifle kind of pointing up, like he's hiding behind a tree. When I bought this set, the person mistakenly thought it was only 7 poses, but I knew this 8th pose was in there. He just was not aware of it. And for poses 7 and 8, throwing a grenade, holding a Thompson machine gun, and here the American soldier is firing a Garand, I believe. Or I could be wrong. So there you have it, the Dulcop 132 scale U.S. infantry set. Get them if you find them, but pay close attention. Make sure you're not just buying Airfix again.
Okay, I know what you guys are waiting for. Let's see this go into battle.
Schwerer Beschuss! Da drüben mit diesem Auto! Nach der Kopf! Los! Eine Granate da rein! Feuer! Angriff! Angriff! Los, los, los! Es wird Zeit! Los jetzt! Feuer nach Boden! Sanitäter! Hilfe! Er wurde getroffen! Das ist Artillerie! Runter! Weitere Truppen verlassen die Deckung! Achtung! Feindliche Panzer!
So do you think they ever recover their vehicle? I don't know. Anyway, if you like the show and you want to see more episodes, please remember to hit the subscribe button and if you hit the little bell that's right next to the subscribe button, you'll be notified about every new episode that we put out, which is twice a week. And please hit like, because it helps, brainwash you that you like the show. And it tells us that you like the show. Oh, and one more really important thing. If you have any comments or any criticisms, or you spotted a mistake that I made, which I don't make mistakes, I'm a genius. Put them there in the comments. Or if, let's say, there's a show or there's a subject you want us to tackle, that's why we're here. My name is Christian Aldo. I'm the Plastic General. See you next time.